Welcome to Sleep Story of Legends, where imagination runs wild and dreams come to life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below about the stories you'd like to hear next. Now, let's journey into tonight's tale. Tom and Jerry, a night of reflection. The moon hung low over the sprawling, dimly lit yard, casting silvery shadows across the picket fence. Crickets chirped an uneven symphony, and the air smelled of freshly cut grass mixed with distant summer rain. All was quiet, a stark contrast to the chaos that had erupted earlier that day. Inside the small suburban house, Tom lay sprawled on a tattered, pillow-strewn couch, his gray fur singed in patches, and a faint bruise forming just above his left ear. Jerry, nestled in his tiny mouse hole nearby, nursed a stubbed toe and an aching tail. For once, neither plotted nor schemed. They simply existed, each lost in thought after a long day of their never-ending rivalry. Tom sighed, his gaze fixed on a faded painting of a seaside village hanging crookedly on the wall. He hadn't moved for what felt like hours. His body ached, but it wasn't just the physical pain that troubled him. Something deeper stirred. Why do we fight? Tom blinked, his eyelids heavy with exhaustion, but his mind stubbornly alert. He closed his eyes and allowed his thoughts to drift. Why am I always chasing that mouse? He pondered. It was a question that had surfaced more often in recent months. Was it instinct? Pride? Or was it something more profound? He tried to recall the first time he had set out to catch Jerry, but the memory was blurry, a muddled mix of mischief and a sense of duty to the humans who expected him to play the role of a vigilant house cat. Yet, what started as simple cat and mouse games had escalated over the years. Their chases had become elaborate battles of wits, filled with traps, trickery, and occasional explosions. But for all the destruction, neither had ever dealt a truly final blow. Each time, they got up, dusted themselves off, and prepared for the next round. Do I really see Jerry as my enemy? Tom wondered. Sure, the mouse was a nuisance. He stole food, left tiny paw prints across freshly cleaned countertops, and outsmarted Tom more times than he could count. But there was also something admirable about Jerry's resilience. No matter how many times he was cornered, Jerry always found a way to escape. Tom's tail twitched as a new thought took shape. What if we're not meant to be enemies at all? What if we're two sides of the same coin, each needing the other to find purpose? This notion unsettled him. For so long, he had defined himself by the chase. If he stopped chasing Jerry, who would he be? Meanwhile, Jerry lay in his bed made of cotton scraps, staring up at the wooden beams of his mouse hole. His body ached, but his mind buzzed with questions of its own. Why do I keep provoking Tom? The question was simple, but the answer was anything but. Jerry had always prided himself on his independence. He was small but fierce, and his cleverness had allowed him to survive in a world designed for creatures much larger than himself. Yet, for all his victories, there was an emptiness that gnawed at him. Am I really free? He wondered. On the surface, it seemed so. He had no cage, no master. He roamed the house as he pleased, taking what he needed and evading capture at every turn. But true freedom, Jerry realized, was more than just survival. It was peace, the ability to exist without constantly looking over one's shoulder. Yet, Jerry couldn't imagine a life without Tom. The cat was his adversary, yes, but also his greatest challenge. Without Tom, would life lose its meaning? Would he grow complacent, his sharp mind dulled by an easy existence? Jerry turned onto his side, the weight of these thoughts pressing down on him. The house remained silent, save for the occasional creak of floorboards settling. The moonlight shifted, casting a beam across the room that illuminated both Tom and Jerry's resting places. Unbeknownst to each other, both had reached similar conclusions. Tom, for all his musings, had decided that he didn't truly want to catch Jerry, at least not in a way that ended their game for good. What he sought was balance. The chase was his purpose, but it didn't have to be his prison. Jerry, too, had come to understand that his freedom didn't have to come at the expense of constant conflict. Perhaps there was a way to coexist, not as friends necessarily, but as partners in a strange, unspoken dance. The next morning, the first rays of dawn filtered through the curtains. Tom stretched, his joints popping as he rose from the couch. He padded over to the kitchen, where a half-eaten sandwich lay abandoned on the counter. Instead of devouring it, he cut off a small piece and placed it near Jerry's hole. Jerry, awakened by the scent of food, peered out cautiously. Seeing the offering, he hesitated. Was it a trap? But Tom's posture was relaxed, his eyes devoid of their usual cunning. Tentatively, Jerry approached. He nibbled the bread, all the while keeping a wary eye on the cat. Tom didn't move. For the first time in years, they shared a meal, not as enemies, but as something new and undefinable. The days that followed were different. The chases didn't stop entirely, but they were gentler, almost playful. There was still trickery, but the malice had faded, and in the quiet moments, they sometimes sat together, watching the world beyond the window without the weight of past battles hanging over them. Tom and Jerry had found a fragile truce, one built not on words, but on understanding. As the sun set on yet another day, Both felt a sense of peace they had never known before. They still didn't have all the answers, but they had each other. And for now, that was enough. Thank you for listening to tonight's story. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment about what stories you'd like to hear next. Sweet dreams, and may your imagination take you on wondrous journeys tonight.